The Brethren Moons, also referred to as the Brother Moons or Blood Moons, are a race of gigantic necrotic alien lifeforms and are the originators of the markers, the marker signal, and the Necromorph monsters. They are believed to be the final stage in the Necromorph life cycle. Due to their agenda, the Brethren Moons are the central antagonists of the Dead Space franchise. The moons are literal moon-sized creatures, with the surface acting as a protective shell, concealing a mass of tentacles which reach thousands of miles in length. Within the centre of the creature is the main head. This head has 5 colossal yellow eyes, resembling those of the Hive Mind and the Ubermorph. Hanging from the entrance of the mouth is a mass of tissue consisting of eyes, tentacles, a fang-lined slit, and a circular sucking mouth. This smaller head is capable of interacting with the smaller objects that are about to be ingested by breaking the raw materials down and engaging any stubborn living prey. The moons are sentient organisms possessing a level of consciousness and intellect practically unimaginable to human beings. They communicate via a form of telepathic signal and are also capable of causing hallucinations by using their telepathic abilities. During the hallucinations where they spoke to Isaac and Carver through their prophet, the cult leader, they displayed a kind of hive mind mentality by referring to themselves in the plural. The moons appeared to regard themselves as immortal, omnipotent, and divine by referring to themselves collectively as a god. The process of a new moon's creation begins with the moons making black markers, which travel through space inside asteroids before impacting a suitable host world. In the case of Earth, the black marker was carried inside the asteroid that struck the Yucatan Peninsula around 65 million years ago. After a host world has been reached, the marker will fall dormant, reactivating only once the dominant life form of the planet has achieved a certain level of technological advancement. That is, once they've exhausted their home world's natural resources and need to venture into space to find more. The marker then announces itself by broadcasting an electromagnetic signal, making it appear to the prey species to be a limitless source of energy. This signal will drive intelligent species to create marker copies that are then inevitably distributed throughout their territory. However, it has another function which remains dormant for a brief period after its discovery. It can alter the necrotic tissue of dead organisms at the molecular level, causing corpses to reanimate and become necromorphs, relentlessly hostile, biorecombinant creatures which then spread across the surface of the affected planet like a disease. Due to the presence of markers in nearly every major population centre, containment becomes all but impossible. After necromorph infestation has claimed the majority of a planet's population, the accumulated markers initiate a convergence event, the birth of a Brethren Moon. Once the convergent event begins, the black marker will rise and draw all necromorphs and any other dead tissue along with quantities of the planet's crust towards itself, where they all combine with the marker to form into the biological core of a new brother moon. The creature is fully awakened when the last of the species used to create it has been absorbed, along with the planet's entire biosphere. It is currently unknown what happens to the moon once it absorbs all life upon its birth world, but it is believed that the newborn moon will travel to the nearest source of organic life to continue feeding. Earl Serrano speculated that all life between the origin of the Brethren Moons and humanity's home system has been extinguished by the moons, mixing the genetic material of countless species across the universe into their uniform biomass. This proposed an uncommon answer to the Fermi paradox. Humanity never had the opportunity to contact aliens, not because they didn't exist, but because a massive and lethally invasive hyper-predator absorbed most, if not all, of the organic life within our galaxy, leaving much of it in a state of dead space. Serrano also discovered that the moons formed a network that spanned the galaxy, which they used to communicate as the marker's influence affected other sentient species, leading them to build more markers, continuing to expand the network. 2 million years ago, on an alien planet called Tau Volantis, a convergent event and the creation of a new moon were interrupted when the aliens that it attempted to assimilate built a machine that flash froze their entire planet, halting the event in its tracks, but also wiping out the Tau Volantians in the process. Although they would become extinct, they essentially paused the Necromorph convergence in order to save other worlds from meeting the same fate. The machine was meant to destroy the moon by crashing it into the planet's surface, but this part failed to occur. In response, the new moon began using other markers to broadcast a distress signal across the galaxy, saying "make us whole" and "turn it off," in the hopes of luring new organic beings to Tau Volantis so they could unwittingly disable the machine, allowing the convergence to complete and resuming the moon's cycle of extinction. The moon's plan was successful as it managed to lure the humans to Tau Volantis and manipulated them into shutting down the machine. But Isaac Clarke and John Carver defeated the moon and it was sent crashing down to the surface. Isaac and Carver reached the CMS Terra Nova and were subjected to the painful visions of the brother moons. Isaac, suspecting that they were being manipulated into taking the ship back to Earth so the moons could follow them there, decided to destroy the shock point drive and trap them at Tau Volantis forever. Carver, who was determined to recover the drive and return to Earth, threatened Isaac upon seeing his growing paranoia. The pair fought the cult leader after a tense hallucinatory confrontation and discovered upon his defeat that the moon knew where Earth was and had turned Carver and Isaac against each other to prevent them from warning Earth in time. Knowing that they had little time, Isaac and Carver installed the salvaged shock point drive on the Terra Nova and overloaded the ancient reactor on the ship to power it up. Arriving at Earth, Isaac and Carver tried to contact the authorities to relay their warning. After several tries, a transmission broke through, the gurgles and snarls of many necromorphs. The duo were shocked to see the brethren moons rising from the other side of the Earth. Another moon then suddenly appeared in front of the Terra Nova, leaving Earth's and all mankind's fate unclear. What did you think of the Brethren Moons from Dead Space? I thought they were a really frightening antagonist and gave you a feeling of hopelessness, and that they were so huge and all-consuming that there was nothing humanity could ultimately do to stop them. And since we never got a Dead Space 4 to continue the story, and it was just left with Dead Space 3's ending, I felt it appropriate to conclude the moons consumed the Earth and everything on it, and humans went extinct. A sad ending, I know, but it feels appropriate. I wonder if the remake does well enough that we might still get a Dead Space 4 to finally close the Dead Space story they started, to make us whole, you could say. If you're interested in more Dead Space videos from me, I'll have a selection on screen for you to check out right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.